welcome back to Guitar Discoveries. If you use Apple Music or iTunes, lately you've probably noticed these words next to some of your favorite new songs: Hi-Res and Lossless. And it's usually evidence of a big name, major label release. But as an indie artist, is there a way for you to future-proof your next release or album by getting it certified and labeled as Hi-Res and Lossless? You can by creating and submitting an Apple Digital Master. So, how do you do that? Stick around, I'm going to show you. So last week, my band Cosmic Spin released our first certified Apple Digital Master. And as you can see, it's labeled Hi-Res and Lossless, just like we wanted. So Hi-Res just means that an audio file is sampled at a high rate of 88.2 or 96 kilohertz, or potentially higher. But the key is 24-bit depth, not 16-bit. Now, the process of getting Apple certified can really be a pain in the butt, and it's going to cost you extra. But if you know just a few secrets, you at least can avoid some of the hassles that I encountered. So for this release, I chose to distribute through CD Baby, specifically because as of right now, which is May 2023, they're one of very few distributors that's actually set up to deliver high-res lossless masters to Apple. TuneCore isn't, DistroKid is, and there are one or two others that may be able to do it. So check with your preferred distributor to see what they offer. Now, the process of getting certified is interesting, to say the least. So here are the basics of what you'll need. A high-res final mix of your song, which has to be 24-bit depth. More on that in a minute. You're going to need to provide your high-res final mix, or maybe stems, to an Apple certified mastering engineer or mastering studio. And that's key because Apple will check, and if your engineer hasn't gone through the proper training and isn't using the right digital converters, etc., you won't get Apple Digital Master certified. Now, to distribute through CD Baby, you actually have to buy two separate distribution licenses. And the first can either be a pro or standard license, and it's going to cover all the streaming services other than Apple. And for that, you're going to submit a converted 44.1K file for all those outlets. Then the second license you buy, it usually costs about $10, is a standard license, and that's going to cover only Apple Music and iTunes. And for that license, you're going to duplicate all the same information and details you gave originally, but you won't actually submit your high-res audio file online. Instead, you're going to send an email to CD Baby's Apple Digital Masters department, and you're going to give them the specific information they request. It's mostly about who mastered the song and their contact information. And you're going to give them a link to your audio file that you've already uploaded to a cloud storage service like, Google Drive or Dropbox. So I worked with an experienced Apple certified mastering engineer. His name is Enrico de Paoli.
I've managed to be blessed with 2 Grammy Awards. And still now, many, many decades later, I still reference my music and my mixes and my productions to other stuff all the time.
And his company is Incrível Mundo Studio. Enrico is a multi-Grammy winning engineer from Brazil, and he's been through this process with other artists. But still, he warned me that we might encounter some obstacles, and he was right. So Enrico and I had discussed, how do we future-proof this release? And because he did analog stem mastering on the song, we decided to master it at the highest resolution that was an even multiple of our original sampling rate. So he mastered the file at 176.4 kilohertz with 24-bit depth. And that's the file I gave to CD Baby. I'm all proud because it sounds freaking amazing, right? This is what high-res and lossless is all about. But believe it or not, CD Baby wrote back to say the file got rejected by Apple because, get this, the sampling rate was too high. Weird, right? They actually said our file had to be sampled at a lower rate, like 96 kilohertz or less. So this hype about high-res and lossless is kind of suspect because, yeah, it is high-res, but in our case, it wasn't the highest res we had available. So from our perspective, it wasn't really going to be lossless either. Anyway, we went back and forth a few times, and we tried to insist that 176.4K was high res and Apple should accept it. But in the end, we lost the battle, and Enrico actually had to remaster and output the file at 88.2 kilohertz, which apparently is an acceptably low-res, high-res file. That version did get accepted, and everything went smoothly after that. And that is how and why an indie artist named Cosmic Spin has the Hi-Res Lossless label and the Apple Digital Master certification. I hope this helps you either do the same or decide not to. Here's the thing, with a blindfold on, I can't hear the difference between the 176K and 88K high-res versions. But I think I can detect a very subtle difference between the 88K file that is up on Apple Music and the 44.1K version that's everywhere else. But even then, the difference isn't enough to stop me from using Spotify and listening there. But anyway, that's a story for another video. All right, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss any of my videos that are going to help you make better music and put it out in the world. So I'll see you next time, like maybe right now.
And then I see your face, it's like cool, cool water.